Driverless cars used to be science fiction.
Just like a taxi, except the big difference is there's no driver.
This is a robo-taxi from a company called Zoox, which is looking to reimagine the way that we get around.
This is still a bit of a novelty. Most people driving next to us have never seen one of these.
Keep your eyes peeled here around the National Mall and downtown. These are the likely areas where you'll see these autonomous vehicles rolling.
I'm part of a movement and an industry that is working on bringing transportation and technology together.
It has no steering wheel, no pedals, and 4 inward-facing seats.
This is a legacy role where we dream of this day when a service that people already like today, it's just we will provide it in a better way for the customer, for society, for cities. We dream of that day where it's just going to be ubiquitous.
Well, good morning and welcome back. I'm Kat Zakreski. Thank you so much. It's so great to see such a full house here today. I'm Kat Zakreski, and I'm a White House reporter here at the Washington Post. And I'm so excited for our conversation today with Aicha Evans, the CEO of Zoox.
Thank you.
And now, just before we get started, Zoox is owned by Amazon, and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. And now, welcome, Aicha.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It feels so warm and just exciting to be here.
Really great to see you. And I want to get started by talking about what Zoox is and what it looks like on the road, because I think when we think of self-driving cars, there's a lot of different ways that can manifest. And so can you tell us a little bit about the vehicle that we're seeing here on the screen?
Yeah, so look, when we think about it, for us, since inception, we've had the same viewpoint, which is there is a better way to provide transportation from point A to point B. So we created a purpose-built robo-taxi from the ground up, and at the intersection of AI, robotics, and obviously manufacturing. And we just want to provide each one of you and everyone out there a cleaner, safer, and more enjoyable way to get around.
That sounds great, as someone who was stuck in traffic in an Uber for a while this morning getting here. And so tell me a little bit, this has been called the toaster.
I saw that, yeah.
And how did you come up with this shape and this look?
So when you, normally when you think about self-driving, a lot of people think you take a car and you retrofit it. That wasn't what Zoox did. Zoox was like, look, from the first principle standpoint, if AI is going to do the driving via compute and sensors coming together, can you reimagine the cabin? Can you reimagine the vehicle? So it's small on the outside, big on the inside. It's a social experience, 2 benches kind of facing each other, so that when you're being transported, you shouldn't even be thinking about driving. If you thought about driving, we actually failed. You should step in, kind of open doors, sliding doors, step in, buckle up, and you do you. If you're alone, you want to dance, you want to meditate, you want to listen to a podcast, you want to chat, you want to gossip, whatever it is you want to do, you do you. And it was maximizing the space and transporting you. The inspiration was actually the London cab.
Wow. And so I just want to get a sense from the audience right now, because this technology is so new. Can I get a show of hands? How many people here have been in a self-driving vehicle?
Yay.
Okay. So we've definitely got some. How many would like to ride in a self-driving vehicle? All right, pretty strong showing.
Customers coming soon near you.
And how many are scared? How many would never get in a self-driving car?
Okay.
All right. So we've still got quite a few hands up on that question. And so what would your message be to those people who are really worried about getting in one of these vehicles?
I will earn your trust. We will earn your trust. This is not a move fast and break things. At least it shouldn't be as an industry. We're going to take our time. We're going to show you the data. We're going to scale block by block, city by city, state by state, and essentially deliver the value. We're also a regulated industry. We don't just get to do whatever it is, not that there's any benefit in doing that. And we're just going to show you and hopefully be inviting enough that at some point most people will get into one. This is going to be a long journey before it's fully ubiquitous, so there's plenty of time to be inviting, to be inspiring, but also to garner trust.
And you mentioned that move fast and break things approach. I spent 10 years covering tech, and there were a lot of stories, sometimes even including Amazon, about the companies violating people's privacy or selling dangerous products, or even mistreating workers. Why should we trust those same big tech companies to build this technology that has life or death consequences?
Well, because I'm Aicha Evans. I am not anything you said. I can't speak for others. I don't have that luxury. I don't like it when people speak about me and or Zoox, for that my third child, and tell me what's going on in there. What I can tell you is that I have no interest in going to bed at night and not being able to sleep. I take very seriously my responsibility and our responsibility that I'm carrying the most precious cargo in life, people. And I want them to ride. The greatest compliment, the greatest joy is when somebody rides in a Zoox robo-taxi with me or by themselves and says, I didn't want the ride to end. I want to do it again. Oh my God, I feel like I'm stepping into the future. Oh my God, for myself, I wish I had it while my kids were in the soccer phase. I would have shipped them off. The number of times I had to get in that car and drive them to a game I did not want to watch. But I had to pretend that it was the United States national soccer team playing. So I see so many cases. I mean, this morning I needed something that I don't want somebody else to deliver to me. I wish I could have ordered a Zoox to go get it for me and bring it back. So I see use cases and use cases. So we have to be safe. And I know that if you're seeing my robot on tow trucks all the time, why would you want to ride it? And I know that if you're watching the news and seeing my robot like in not good situations, I haven't earned it. And I trust that we will do the right things. Now, we will make mistakes. I want to be very clear. But when we do we understand them? What are we learning from them? How do we make it better? But one of the reasons Zoox has been so deliberate in its approach, I mean, you could say that you were in the Valley. 11 years is a long time. It's beyond the life of a fund, actually. But we're taking our time because we understand our responsibility and we want to earn your trust. A lot of women don't ride. I really need you guys to ride, so we'll earn it.
That's really interesting. Why do you think a lot of women don't ride?
We like our privacy. We don't want to be a statistic. Often people say 99.9%. We're like, well, I don't want to be the 0.0 something. And so I think that the barrier of entry is a little lower when we feel we have total choice and total control.
And I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned some of the use cases, like obviously bringing kids to soccer practice. But with a vehicle like this, what could it do that our cars aren't doing on the roads today?
Well, the cars today, first of all, I've always been, there are several approaches to this, right? In terms of, we really engineered this for self-driving. When it comes to safety innovation, when it comes to redundancy, when it comes to the lack of manual control, so there can never be any confusion. When it comes to taking your mind off of the driving, all of that is really important. I mean, there are several instances where, you know, people can get confused. People we're basically taking something that was engineered for a human driver from top to bottom and having to modify it. We just don't think that's the most scalable approach.
And I wanted to ask you, you have a program in Las Vegas, now San Francisco. People can take rides in Zoox today. What have you learned so far from those programs and the early rides in these vehicles?
We've learned a lot. First of all, a lot of customers love it. We've gotten great feedback, ideas for either new features, improvement. No matter what you do and no matter what you spend all your time thinking about everything that's possible, people are a little crazy. Few people did things that we were like, wow, don't ask me what. Really? Do you see the camera? Seriously? We've also learned one big surprise for me. I thought that seniors would be more apprehensive. We are seeing a lot of seniors that prefer it. They enjoy the privacy, they enjoy the simplicity. And then from a company standpoint, we're learning about, it's one thing to build technology, it's another thing to operate a business, and especially that's customer facing. So we've learned a lot and we'll continue that journey.
And what do you see as the biggest differences? Obviously, you just alluded to some particular problems you might have in Vegas, but as you launch in San Francisco...
Hey, come on, San Francisco too.
But what are the biggest differences as you go from a desert-based city to somewhere like the Bay Area where there's fog and some other challenges?
Yeah, you have to deal, first of all, hills, trains, fog. It's also just denser. The scooters and bicyclists all over the place, some of the transient population at times. So different circumstances, a little bit denser driving environment, but also lower speed, which is essentially a trade-off, whereas in Las Vegas, the speeds tend to be a little bit higher. But in general, in Las Vegas, you're going to hotels, you're going to destinations. People are there to be entertained, right? It's not like a utilitarian, take me from here to there. Whereas in San Francisco, it's more like, no, I need to get to this meeting or I need to go to this store, and it's more utilitarian, and we're starting that journey.
And there's already a lot of competition on the road when we talk about the space. Obviously, Waymo has launched in several cities. There's Tesla's programs with robo-taxis in Austin. How do you think about the competition, and is there room for all of you?
Oh, so first, I'm a little weird that way. I think about it more as fellow travelers. We each have a different approach. When it comes to transportation, you're talking about tens and tens of millions of rides a week. So obviously there's a lot of room. It's a big nation. If we even eventually make a dent into less cars, less individually owned cars being driven, that's the good thing. I think depending on who you ask, the average is roughly 2.5 cars per family. If we bring that down to even 1.5, I think everybody will agree that's a good thing. So there's plenty of room. By the way, it's funny, when people ask me the question, I'm like, I feel a lot better because now it's, 3 of us. It's not that long ago, there were like 50 of us. And I was like, goodness gracious. And so plenty of room, different approaches, different views, but at the end of the day, we'll serve customers. It's a big nation, lots of people who are busy going places still all the time.
And I want to ask you, you mentioned the different approaches. Do you personally feel safe riding in a Waymo taxi or a Tesla full self-driving vehicle?
That was not in the questions. Just so we're clear. I'm going to surprise you, and hopefully my team, I drive a Tesla. I think it's my 5th one, so there you go. I'm a Waymo customer. When I'm in the city now, I live outside the city, but I'm in the city often either for work or for entertainment, date night with my husband. If it's an area that Zoox is already starting to cover, I'll take a Zoox. But if it's not, I'll take a Waymo, with pride.
Wow. And I guess, what do you see?
You can clap, that was good. You expected a fight.
And I want to ask you, for so long, going back, we heard these predictions that by 2020, this technology would be widely available. And then by 2025, I mean, here we are. Realistically, when do you think most of the people in this room will be regularly riding in autonomous vehicles?
So first, I do want to defend the industry a little bit, if you allow me. Big, audacious, ambitious kind of society transformative things don't happen overnight. You do need a cohort of people to have the naivete to think that it's happening tomorrow morning. You do need a cohort of people who believe enough in it to invest in it and get it started, because innovation is the heartbeat of America. This is how we've always won, and this is how we will continue to win. And so I think some of those predictions were, yes, a little bit crazy, but they were naive more than anything else, which I'm okay with, as long as eventually the funnel takes care of itself. It's a hard problem to solve. Safety is foundational, it's really key. We talked about trust earlier. And so depending on who you ask, we're still probably half a decade to a decade from it being really available. I'm assuming this is a normal distribution in terms of people, where people live, and there's enough variety. So I'm talking about the entire United States here. Probably, yeah, half a decade to a decade before almost it's available in every state. For it to be totally ubiquitous, we're probably over a decade away, but that's okay. It's worthy enough. And when you think about the industries like aviation or other things like that, it took a while, but when it happened, we never looked back.
And so kids who are, let's say, in elementary school today, do you think they'll learn how to drive?
Depends on where you live. If you live in areas that are closer to the big urban centers with mostly good weather, probably won't need to. If you live far from an urban center or in places where harsh weather conditions are the norm on a consistent basis, well, actually, I don't know that you should learn to drive in those conditions, but it's less likely that we will be available sooner.
And I wanted to ask you just about some of the infrastructure challenges here. I mean, we're in DC, we saw the people mover at Dulles, how difficult it can be to upgrade some of this technology. How do you think that might impact the rollout of vehicles, and what can policymakers do to make this happen faster?
We spend a lot of time, both at the federal, state, and city level. We're going to have to earn it. Most of the folks who are in the self-driving industry are spending a lot of time in DC. We started testing, but with a safety driver. I believe other fellow travelers are doing the same, and we're going to have to show the data, earn it. By the way, if you live in DC and you really like it, let people know. But I also believe in, I don't know about the people mover at the airport, but this is something that transportation, ride-hail transportation is already something that's known. We just want to provide it in a different way. So I'm assuming that as it's growing in other cities and as we continue our conversations with the local authorities here, we will find a path forward.
And you mentioned that your vehicles have safety drivers right now. What's your message to DC regulators? Because that is a requirement right now for these vehicles in the city.
Let's keep talking, ask any questions you want, tell us what you're most worried about, and let's figure out a path forward together.
And you mentioned you own a Tesla, but I'm just trying to think about how this works moving forward. In the future, will people own their vehicles, or will it be more like a hailing service when it comes to using tools like Zoox?
So, you know, we're like a typical American family, so we have several cars. And especially now with the kids headed to college, one doesn't get used much, but you know, I don't want to sell it. I still hope she comes home. I know she won't. And so could we get to a future where I don't need that many cars? Because when it comes to my utilitarian transportation or night on the town, or I know it's going to be congested and there will be a lot of traffic, and I truly just need to be transported, I will use transportation as a utility.
And I want to just go back to the cabin in a Zoox car? I mean, you mentioned the gossip that happens there, the conversations, the things you can't tell us about. But now that you have these on the road and you can test what works, what doesn't work for people, are there any features or new additions that you're going to be making to the cabin in the future?
We'll make anything that's digital, we're making adjustments. So inside the vehicle, as you sit down, you buckle up, a wireless charger, cup holders, and get comfortable. There's a little screen on the side that is giving you a lot of information. And so we've made some enhancements. So for example, some folks, in terms of knowing when there's going to be a turn, wanted to know that a turn is coming up, and we don't want to distract you with blinking things and whatever. So we're giving you the choice there, and eventually, in terms of your profile, you'll be able to select several things so that we can sort of give you on that screen what's important to you versus what you don't like or what somebody else might want that you don't want.
And obviously, as a company that's part of Amazon, we were talking a lot about moving people today, but will you also be delivering packages? I mean, could my Amazon order come in a Zoox in the future?
Well, the future. What time horizon are we talking about? Right now, we're focused. We're moving people. That's hard enough. It's a lot of work. Whether it's people or packages, you have to drive on the same roads, right? And so we're focused on that. In the future, I do dream of a future where we can deliver packages, we can deliver services. There are a lot of things that swim in my mind that we could be doing. But first, let's earn it by accomplishing the first step of the mission.
And here in Washington, the administration is really concerned about competition with China. And autonomous vehicles is an area where we're really seeing them push ahead. What does the United States need to do to remain competitive?
Well, I do give credit to the administration. We actually had gone a different path because we had no other way, but they acted quite swiftly and quite quickly with a new exemption program that was, and they did it very quickly, so we actually switched paths and went that way. And that's the type of decisiveness and urgency that we need to really embrace. Look, I know it's a robotaxi, I've described the product, but at the end of the day, it sits really, what's under the hood is AI, robotics, EV, battery technology, manufacturing. And so that's technology that applies to so many sectors. And yes, the companies in China are not sleeping. They are doing very well. They are moving rapidly. I haven't actually been in one of theirs, but they are starting to have pilots also in the EU, Middle East, Southeast Asia. And this is not a race we can afford to lose. And we shouldn't even think in terms of losing. We should only think in terms of winning.
Given that shift we're seeing where Chinese companies are operating outside of China, do you have any plans to expand outside the United States?
Not yet. I haven't earned it, but I need to. We're talking about that much sooner than I had anticipated, and so I don't have anything to announce right now, but it's top of mind.
And you mentioned AI being under the hood in these cars, and we're in the middle of a major AI debate. We're hearing the President of the United States say that the federal government should be setting the AI rules, not states. I'm curious where you fall on that debate.
This is now where you're going beyond my area of expertise. That's just not, I don't know enough to know about how things should be legislated or regulated. All I know is that AI is here to stay. And I know there's a utopian view and a dystopian view. Right now, biology, kind of 100, everything else 0. We will figure out a way to adapt. On balance, it will enable things that we didn't think were possible, including a self-driving robotaxi. And so I believe in the technology, and I'm going to let professionals who specialize in that space figure out how it should be regulated and legislated. I'm just not qualified to answer that question.
But as an operator in the space, as we're having this debate, what question do you think policymakers should be keeping in mind when they think about regulating AI?
Well, I think impact, accuracy, data sets, deployment, traceability, either self-healing or enough alerts and monitors to know something is wrong and something needs to be corrected. Those are the type of things those are the type of things I would expect to be discussed.
Well, we're unfortunately just out of time. Aicha Evans, thank you so much for joining us here at the Women's Summit today.
Thank you.